Happy Self Love Sunday, ladies. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that your journeys are going well. So, over the past couple of months, I've kind of been touching here and there about physical health, and today we're just going to talk about it. It is time for us to talk about it. It is time for us to do something about it. So today just so happens to be that day. Just like many others, I had plans for 2020 and what I wanted to do in terms of not just physical health, a bunch of different things, right? But COVID 19 hit, aka Rona, hit, and it changed the dynamics of a lot of things for a lot of people. Okay, for as much as I would love to sit here and say I worked out all the time and I ate healthy, it's just not true. I got caught up in the support your local business. So DoorDash put some weight on my ass. Okay, I was DoorDash and everything. Not cooking. I really don't like to cook anyway. Just being honest with you. For those of you who don't know my backstory, I am a mom of six. I had with five living children. I used to be really heavy, lost a lot of weight, and entered into the fitness world. I taught fitness for 10 years. And I also became a powerlifter and competed in powerlifting as well. And then I would say I transitioned out of that field about 2018 into more of public speaking and being a life coach for women, which I specialize in teaching women basically how to love themselves so that they can get the life that they really truly desire, whether that's in their jobs, whether that's in their love life, whether that's learning just how to be a better mom, whatever that is, right? So I help them through coaching them. So when I transitioned out of that life, I didn't, it was really hard for me, to do it. And I didn't keep up as well as I thought I was going to, right? Because it was at one point it really hit me heavy, and I said this in a prior video. To walk in your purpose, sometimes it's really really hard transitioning out of that life, and I just kind of fell into like a little bit of a slumber. So I put on some weight. So what I decided to do, because now we know what this new normal looks like, right? We've been in this for some months now. We know that this journey is going to continue with the mask and all these other things. Our children, if you are a single mom, right, they are in school. So out of my five living children, I have two that are out the house and grown, on their own. And then I have a daughter that's in college. The senior in college, she's actually staying on campus. The freshman in college is actually staying home. Now she's brought in her best friend to live with us as well. Pray for me. And then I also have my son who is in 10th grade. So, I have them now home going to school as well as I work from home. So we're kind of getting acclimated to a schedule, got to, figure it out a little bit better. So now it's really, truly time to focus on my physical health. Okay, so the very first thing that I did, which is the very first thing that you should do, is I went to see a doctor. I just wanted to make sure that I was overall healthy and ready to embark on a physical fitness program. I think that is so important. Many people want to skip that part, but you really should. Okay, you should consult a physician before you start any sort of fitness regimen. For me, I was also having knee and lower back pain, but a part of that was the extra weight gain. So what we determined is I put on an additional 50 pounds in a year. Okay, so everybody's fit number is different, right? What you need, this is not about, and I want to be clear, this is not about being skinny. I will never be skinny, nor do I want to be, because I like a little, I'm more into the more muscular sculpted look, just to be very honest with you. So I'm into, I guess that's to call it more the fit look, right? So everybody's number is going to be different, but for me to be overall healthy, right, I need to lose 50 pounds, okay? So now that I know that, it was time for me to put together a plan of action, right? So the very first thing that I did was get back home and this is normally about the time, just to be honest with you, where I start looking at my goals for the next year. Okay. I believe in setting yourself up for success. I am a New Year's resolution type person, but I do it a little bit differently because I believe that if you start anything January 1, you're not going to be successful. Why? That's why most people start a program and they kind of fall off by February, maybe March, because you have to really prepare yourself for it ahead of time. So this is about the time that I put my list together, all the things, not just physical health, financial, just all sorts of things that I put down on a piece of paper of what I want my life to truly look like in the next year. I came home, I really put that list together, a comprehensive list that didn't just include what that number is I wanted to hit next year, right? So once I've made my kind of list of where I wanted to go, now it's time for me to put together a calendar. Listen, if you want to be successful in achieving any sort of goals, you have to be organized. I know. Listen, especially now that my kids, my life has really changed. I'm a single mom, but I don't run like I used to. They don't need me in the same ways anymore. So it's very, very different for me. Getting even acclimated to that, and I'm gonna be honest, that contributed to a lot of my little slumber that I was in, because everything is changing in my life. It's kind of like I'm getting ready to fall into this second life. So I created, just to get back to what I was doing. So I created a calendar. I decided that for the first month, I'm going to do some low impact, but cardio driven sort of workouts and incorporate light weights into that. Why? The reason why I decided to do it this way is I wanted to set myself up for success. I didn't want to jump out the gate with the hardcore because I know hardcore. I didn't want to jump out the gates with any of that stuff. I kind of wanted to get my body acclimated to just moving. Okay, just moving. But I want to back up for 1 second. I know I said the first thing I did was go, get checked out by a physician. The second thing I did was put a plan of action into play of how I wanted to attack the weight, concern, as well as my, physical health, right? But the other thing I really had to do, the hardest thing, was let go of who I used to be. I really had to shed that. And it's hard, right? Because, you're thinking, I had to let go of Miss, Tort Fitness for 10 years, Miss Power Lifter, I look this way and that's the way, I had to let go of all of that. And I no longer say, I want to go back to looking how I used to look. I've given all of that up. I had to, for my sanity, because it was like, if you hold on to that, you can't embrace where you are so you can get to where you need to go. I had to really embrace where I am right now and then get a target on where I want to go, which is going to be very different. I am not the one for saying, live in the glitz glory days. I feel like my best days are ahead of me. I have so much to look forward to, right? But the first thing I had to do really in that is letting go of that old person. So I'm not so hard on myself. So I'm not jumping out the gate, killing myself, throwing myself into some program where I'm going to be extremely, extremely sore, and then I'm not going to want to do it anymore. Okay. So I had to shed the old me. Okay. And embrace where I am so I can, walk into this new life that I'm headed into, that I'm really excited about. It's scary. Don't get it twisted. It really is with my kids being grown and, and just me trying to figure out even to where I want to live next. Cause I knew once my son graduated high school, I'm no longer want to even stay where I'm staying. So just kind of getting prepped for all that. Yes, it's scary for me, but I'm still excited for the journey of just getting to that next thing, right? I'm a single mom that's looking forward to getting married, right? I'm looking forward to, really, dating and having all those experiences that I really didn't get to have, being a single mom. I made some choices. They were my choices. And now I'm ready to, make some different choices. So let's get back to the fitness program. So the very first month, I'm not really focused on the number. And to be honest with you, so September, like October, November, December, I'm not really focused on a number. What I'm focused on is just moving my body, getting my body used to moving again in ways it hasn't really been moving, right? So the first month, and it's really, I started at the end of September, so going into October, the first month is doing those low impact type workouts. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about like bar. I love bar, right? It's focused on turning. You also have the weights, right? You work out, you use your dumbbells, which the first month I'm not heavy at all. I'm 3 to 4 pounds of dumbbells. Why? I am just getting my body acclimated, getting used to moving, getting used to weights again, right? I'm just getting my body used to doing that, and I do that. So I'm talking about bar, I'm talking about Zumba. Zumba for me is really not going to work right now because the pivoting with the knee, I really have to do a lot of modifications, right? Even with my lower back. So that I'm not really doing that right now, but that's another one that's really great. Another one is Walk Away the Pounds, right? I love that program. It is free on YouTube. So I'm talking to those people who necessarily may not want to go out to the gym. This is you want to maybe do it in your house. Also walking, get outside, walk, just move your body at least 6 days a week. Just start getting used to moving it. Start getting used to the dumbbells, getting them in your hand, right? Just getting used to moving your bodies. That's really what I do the first month. I'm just getting my body ready. It's like, okay, so and then I'm gonna be sore, but not to the point where I'm not gonna be able to walk up my stairs. You know what I mean? So just getting my body used to it. Now, as I move into the second phase of it, my body is used to moving, so now I'm going to up the ante a little bit. I happen to have a Peloton. Some people may not have a piece of equipment, but I'm going to move into more of that moderate, medium impact. So I'm on the Peloton, and I'm telling you right now, 20 to 30 minutes on that Peloton, and I'm dead, right? Because I'm not as physically fit as I used to be, right? So remember, let that go. Starting from scratch, right? So I'm adding in now 2 days of, my Peloton. I'm up in the ante a little bit, right? And I'm also now increasing my dumbbells. If I was 3 to 4 pounds, I may go up to 5 at this point, right? So I'm moving my body 6 days a week. And out of those 2 days, out of those 6, I'm on the Peloton. I'm upping the ante now. I'm really getting myself going and moving. The third month, all right, for me, what I decided to do is now I'm going to up it even more, okay? So I'm moving my body, whether I'm walking or doing whatever I'm doing, dumbbell training, light weights, higher reps, right? I'm doing that 6 days a week. I'm moving, I'm doing that weight training also with it because it's very light. It's not a lot. 2 days out of that, I'm increasing up in the ante. I'm letting go of the low impact. I'm doing 2 days on my Peloton. Now, third month, I'm adding in 2 days of HIIT. If you want to focus on really losing weight and just really getting your body in shape, HIIT training, high intensity interval training is it. That's where you really want to be. They use a lot of bodyweight exercises, to be honest with you. They also can incorporate equipment, right? That to me is totally, up to you. But I do believe that you want to also ensure that you are doing some form of weight training, especially, I just think that weight training in general is great for you. You really want to do that. Also, now that we're getting older, you want to incorporate something that has balance. That's another reason I love bar, because it's that like yoga Pilates blend, right? Because we want to focus on balance as we get older, okay? Listen, why do people fall down when we get older, right? You're worried about falling down, break your hip, all those things, right? So balance, more functional training, it comes into play now. For us as we get older. But for that high intensity training, HIIT, that is, to me, it's just epic. It's the end all be all. But you want to incorporate weights too, because as you come down, you don't want the loose and flappy skin, right? You want to tone as you come down. So I actually, incorporate, HIIT into that. Now, I'm on my third month. My body, what has happened to my body, during this time? I'm not on my third month right now. I'm saying that the program that I put together for myself, that I've done before, to be honest with you, the program that I put together for myself, It's helped my body transition in a way where it's just not overwhelmed by the exercise. It's not, I'm not overly sore, right? My body is used to moving, it's used to some soreness. So every time when I added in the Peloton, I wasn't as sore as previous times when I would just jump out the gate and go hardcore and Sandy Max 30 showing T, which I love those programs, to be honest with you. But I didn't just jump out the gate with that this time, right? So it's like, okay, I can handle the soreness. I can handle what I'm giving to my body, and it's not overwhelming. As a matter of fact, it actually makes me feel more accomplished when I do it this way, right? Because I'm proud of myself. I'm able to hang in there, for the 30-minute class. I'm able to hang in there for the hour class now, right? Because I've slowly introduced my body into at each level. So now when January hits, I'm really ready to start my resolution. Now I'm focused on the number. Okay? Now I'm focused on the number. And what that means is, not to say that during this time I am starting to eat healthier. I deleted DoorDash. Okay, I said it. I deleted the app. It's gone. I had to now start more cooking at home. But I did tell my kids, once a week we can order out, right? So I don't cook for them. I'm just going to tell you that right now. My life has completely changed. They're older. One is more of the vegan, vegetarian type diet. I always mix them up, because right now it's early, right? Like I mix them up. But she doesn't eat meat. And then my son, he's very picky. So I just kind of buy the things they like, let them do their things, and I buy the things that I like and I do mine, right? So in terms of seeing that number move, in terms of sculpting your body, a lot of people think that it is just a working out. I can promise you, in all my years of fitness, the one thing I can tell you is that is not true. I've seen people who come to the gym every single day and work hard, sweat, right? And never, their weight would never fluctuate. Why? It's because when they leave, they're not eating healthy. They're just not. Okay? Let's just stop with the BS. It just is what it is. If you want to see that number move, if you want to sculpt your body, if you want abs, they are made in the kitchen. Period. Now, as for me, I didn't really change that much in terms of I didn't add a bunch of things back in, but there was, ordering from DoorDash, like I was eating more beef, right, which I had really not eaten a lot of. And then, because I'm ordering a burger, right, and it comes with the brioche bun and all the other stuff, So I'm like, gotta change all of that. So for me, I have a philosophy. If it's white, it's not right. If it's brown, lay it down. What does that mean? I don't eat anything, no white sugar, no white pasta, right? No white bread, right? Everything is whole grain, whole wheat for me, even down to the pasta, because I don't believe in cutting out food groups. I do eat carbs, but I try to eat more of the complex carbs that are better for you, like sweet potatoes, right? I love a sweet potato. I also love quinoa, right? So, I don't really cut out anything, I cut back. So a plate for me, let's just go through a typical day for me. So in the morning, it is, oatmeal. I love oatmeal. I may cut up an apple and put it in there or whatever. I drink water all day. In the morning, I have a cup of coffee. It is black. I've learned to live on black coffee. I know people are like, black coffee? Yes, listen, taste buds change. My taste buds change. Even the vegetables and stuff that I eat now, I didn't eat as a kid. Asparagus, are you kidding me? I would never have eaten asparagus. Broccoli and cauliflower, I'm like, I'm not eating that mess. But now that I know that my taste buds are different, so I eat it, right? So in the morning, we're talking oatmeal, with maybe fruit cut up into it. Lunch, I love a salad. I'm a salad girl, but I love the darker greens. So I may have 50-50 with the spring mix and spinach. I'm not really an iceberg lettuce person, really romaine. I'm just not. I like a darker salad. On that salad, some days I may have, grilled chicken on it. Some days I may not. Just depends how I feel, right? That's just what I love. In between snacks, my snacks are no more than 100-calorie snacks. I have 3 snacks a day. They're not more than 100 calories, whatever that snack is that I choose, okay? Dinner, the plate, your plate. Your food should always be in the center of the plate and not the edges. You should have half of that plate filled up with vegetables. Sorry, I'm not sorry about it. It just is what it is, right? Half of that plate filled up with vegetables, 6 ounce protein, which could, for me, would either be some sort of lean turkey, and or chicken if I'm gonna have that, because I've kind of been changing a little bit how much I've been eating meat. I'm into Impossible. I try not to eat it as much because I do realize that it is processed as well. So I love Impossible meats too. So I may do some type of Impossible burger, which is a plant based. And then I have my carb, which is maybe like 4 to 6 ounces of a sweet potato, right? So that's what my plate will look like. This is, because again, I'm sculpting my body. I'm conscious of what I'm putting in it. I am very conscious about sugar. Sugar to me is one of the most addictive things on this planet that no one ever wants to talk about. Okay, sugar is just as addictive. You want to talk about people. I love people. Love to you can look at a drug addict and you can look at alcoholic and you can say these things. However, here's my thing with that. People are just as addicted to sugar. If you take away sugar, and I've done this to myself, I used to put myself through these crazy experiments, especially when I first started out in fitness, and I would just remove sugar. I would go through withdrawal symptoms similar to a person who's withdrawn off of drugs. The headaches, the sweats, the nausea, it was horrible. The feeling. So sugar is very addictive. So I work diligently on cutting back the sugar, and sugar is in everything. So I work diligently on cutting back the sugar. Dairy, I do not do hardly any dairy at all. Maybe some cheese here and there, but no milk at all. I can't tell you that when I cut dairy out, how much better I felt. My joints, everything just felt so much better when I decided to cut out the dairy. And just to be honest with you, I really started adding back the cheese in like not too long ago. Maybe over the past, since I stopped teaching fitness, let me just be honest, right? So it's all about honesty and vulnerability, okay? So I don't do dairy. I just can't even tell you that the inflammation, it's not as, it used to be hard. It used to be horrible. It used to feel horrible, I feel a lot better since doing that. Let me think. So, as far as when I get, people always ask me, like, I drink water all the time. Now, even in the weight gain, I didn't go to sodas. I did, I'm not going to lie, I did increase my wine. Listen, it was Corona. People was getting on my nerve. I did increase my wine intake, right? So I had to veer back on that. So I stopped drinking. I just did. Doesn't mean I'm not going to go back to it, but right now that's just not where I am. Right now I'm very focused on what I'm focused on, which is getting my body moving, getting myself prepared, for where I want to go, where I really want to be come 2021. The other thing that I did in terms of food is we went to Produce Junction and I bought a bunch of fruit as well as like ginger and different types of greens, whether it was mustard, collard, and spinach. And I cut up baggies in because I love smoothies. I love vegetable smoothies. I cut up baggies in because sometimes I just don't want to make breakfast in the morning, and I will throw one of those into the NutriBullet and just go with that, right? I love a veggie smoothie. And to me, if you ever really have a hard time getting in your vegetables, getting in your greens, that is a great way to do it. If you ever want to sneak in your fiber, because within those shakes, I put fiber in there. Also put another source of greens in there, right? Just to make sure I'm giving my body all the nutrients it needs, okay? If I'm not having meat one night, I will substitute that out with beans, right? So, and I want to back up too when I say not having anything white, but I do sometimes incorporate jasmine rice. I think jasmine rice is very good for you. So sometimes I will incorporate jasmine rice and have that with some beans if I'm not having meat, right? I use the beans as my source of protein. One of my favorite snacks is rice cakes with peanut butter. Love it. Okay, almond butter is another one of my favorites. I'll throw that on there too. But this is what I do. It sounds simplistic in terms of putting together the plan for me, getting the calendar out. I print out the calendar. I write these things on it just to kind of give myself a visual. I'm a visual learner, so I love the visual. So on my refrigerator, there's a calendar just to kind of give myself a visual of where I'm headed, right? So that list that I talked about in the beginning that I made for my goals for 2021, that list is going to transfer into a vision board when I get there. Usually I start working on that probably like November time frame, working on the board. It's usually just get my ideas out and really start to prepare for January and October. I am preparing now for then. Why? If my brain can tell me today, well, we're going to wait till New Year's to do that. When New Year's come, that same brain can tell me, oh, we'll wait till the spring to do that, right? It'll keep putting it off. I want to set myself up for success. I want to prepare to be successful. And the way you do that is to get started. It's just to get started. It's not to start. I'm not looking at the numbers right now. Remember that. I'm not looking at the 50 pounds right now. I am just looking at getting acclimated, getting my body moving, coming up with a plan, trying different things to see what I like. So when January hit, I know what I like and what I don't like. For instance, I had started going to CrossFit. Now, I love CrossFit, but I didn't love the lifting part of it. Why? I'm a power lifter. I don't like the clean snatches. I don't like the jerk. I don't like any of that. I am just, let me, bench, squat, deadlift. That's my thing, right? I love that. So I know I know I'm not going to probably go back to that world, but now I'm trying different things and trying out different programs to see where I'm going to land with that, right? Because I know I'm going to go back to lifting. I'm just not sure what, when, how, but, but I'm trying different things to see what I love. I'm trying it now so that when that time comes, I'm taking off. Okay, so January, I'm well into it. Okay, I know I'm going to be successful 2021 because I'm setting myself up right now. That's what you have to do for all of this. Even when listen, I planned to clear some debt. I really was this was last year, so 2019 going into 2020. I made a budget in 2019 and started just doing little small things in 2019. So that way, in 2020. I was already used to it. I was acclimated on what, cutting back, right? That was me just going to find, things that I was paying for monthly that I really wasn't using. I cut the kids down. We're not going to have all these, apps, Netflix, Hulu, all these different things. Listen, we're going to cut it down to, and you're going to choose, we're going to have two. I have Amazon Prime because I order everything through Prime. So you have Prime Video. Now you choose one, Netflix, Hulu. I don't care which one it is, but you choose that. So you chose Netflix. So I got rid of everything else, right? Cut the cable. Don't need the cable. I'm not doing that, right? So we cut that out. So it was just doing small things so that, when it came time to kind of tackle some of the bigger things in 2020, I was ready for it. Okay? So I think that with anything, you have to start to prepare yourself and set yourself up to be successful. So in terms of physical fitness, because this is what we were talking about today, the very first thing to do is consult your physician. After you consult your physician, the second thing is to decide whether or not you're going to embark on this fitness journey alone, meaning that you're going to, do some home-based programs, or are you going to hire a personal trainer, because they're still out there training in COVID. I know there are some that come to your home and the gyms are open, right? You have to decide what it is that's going to work best for you, what you're going to feel comfortable with, and what you're going to be successful with, right? So that's the second thing you're going to have to decide. Third thing, please let go of anything that you're holding on to in regards to yourself. Don't look at some old pictures and be like, oh my God, I let myself go. But beating yourself up is not going to help you at all. Getting a plan and playing the action as to where you want to end up. What is your end goal? Okay. Allow yourself some grace. Listen, let's be honest. I could do a bunch of crazy things, and I do believe they are crazy, and I could drop 50 pounds realistically and honestly and very unhealthy within 3 to 4 months. Seriously, no problem. I could do it. But I've learned along the way and along the journey that the quick and easy fix is not the answer. It really isn't. I like to say that Healthy Weight Loss Goal monthly is anywhere between, 8 pounds per month, anywhere between 5 to 8 pounds per month, right? It's listen, take your time, work through it, allow yourself some grace. Know that sometimes it's going to be easier than others. Sometimes it's very hard because, okay, I've chosen to work out in the mornings. Okay, sometimes it's very hard for me to get my butt out of that bed, right? My class, I also chose to do bar in studio, so I do go out my home because I just need to get out of here because working from home, being home all day, I just mentally just need to get out. So I go to the class 6 o'clock in the morning, right? So I do my workouts in the morning. But there are some times when that can't happen, because they cut class in half. Maybe I can't get in there and then I can't go into it at night, right? So it just depends on how that works out. But for the most part, my schedule is in the morning. I like to get it in and get it over with, and then I'm done for the day. That's me, okay? But then there's times when it's hard. It's hard. So let's talk about how I set myself up for success when it come in terms of, working out. I take out all the guesswork. There's zero guesswork in what I'm going to wear and what I'm going to do. I know what class I'm going to as well as I know what I'm wearing. I put out everything down to my underwear. My underwear, my sports bra, whatever it is that I'm wearing is set out. It's every single night. Sometimes I just put it out for the week. Listen, I'm a single woman. Ain't nobody in my room but me. So I just put it out for the week and down to the underwear, socks, everything. Why? Because if you can give your mind any excuse, any reason for you not to be on time, not to make it to that class, you'll do it. Okay? So I take out all the guesswork. Everything is laid out. And I just find that it's just, I'm much more successful when I'm prepared and I'm organized. Now, my Peloton, I have my sneakers by my Peloton with the socks down there. Why? I'm taking out the guesswork. I don't need, I know what sneakers because they're sitting down there already. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what socks, they don't have to match. I'm not leaving the house. They're down there, right? So everything is prepared the night before. I take out all the guesswork, even down to my keys and wallet. It is sitting on the counter when I walk down my stairs. My keys, my jacket, everything. Even my gym bag, if I'm taking it, is waiting for me at the bottom of the stairs before it's time for me to head out the door. I take out the guesswork. This is what it means to set yourself up for success. You have everything together. There is zero guesswork. I don't have to worry about running around the house to know where anything is. Everything is laid out for me. I mean, it is just, to me, honestly, the best. I don't care what time I go to the gym, even if it's at night. The clothes are already out. So all of it is a matter of me logging off for work for the day. If I'm not already in the gym clothes, throwing on my clothes and running out the door. It's done. I've taken out the guesswork. So let's back up. Very first thing, consult a physician. Second thing, deciding, getting a plan into play, whether you're going to do your own workouts or you're going to hire a trainer, or you're just going to start going to the gym, right? To incorporate whatever program that is, right? The next thing, letting go of anything that no longer serves you in terms of holding on to who you used to be, what you used to look like, and what you used to do. All of that is past. We are embracing where we are now, and we are planning for where we are headed, okay? The next thing, set yourself up for success. Make sure you have everything laid out for you every single day. Once you decided what that program is going to be for yourself, make sure even down, and I know it sounds crazy, yes, even down to the underwear. Make sure everything, my washcloth and towel is ready for me in the morning. If I decide to take a shower beforehand, because there's sometimes when you just have to take a shower before you go, right? Every single thing is laid out. Take out that guesswork. Prepare yourself now. Listen, I am all about goals. I'm all about setting yourself up for success. But let me tell you, make no mistake. Let's stop waiting on, January 1. Set yourself up now. Prepare yourself now. Prepare your body for where you want it to head. So when January hits, now we're on that number. Now we're focused, right? We have already started moving our bodies, and because we're just doing it. Now that we've got all that stuff out of the way, right? Now we're moving our bodies. We're eating healthier, okay? If you don't know what foods to eat, if you just need, and consult a nutritionist. I think that's important because there's some people who have different allergies, right? They, may need gluten-free, whatever that is. So you need to make sure you set yourself up for success. Reach out to a nutritionist. It's very important for you to have everything in place. So then when January comes, right, your goal is to lose whatever that is. Some people may not be losing weight. So, some people may just want to tone or whatever that is, right? Set yourself up for success. Start now. Start now. So that when the new year comes, you are ready. You're just really like taking off. Where everybody else is just getting started and they're really kind of huffing and puffing. You're a little huffing and puffing a little bit, but you're better. You're acclimated to it now, right? You're ready to go. You're in the zone. You're in the zone. That's the important thing. Okay? So let's get ready. Let's do this. We are in October now. This is the perfect time to start. Take this week, make your list, right? Set your doctor's appointments, right? So you can get yourself started. Even if October is the month of discovery for you, meaning making your list, getting your appointments, and really starting to put that plan into play. Because I know for some people, they're really not as acclimated yet with the schedules with their kids being home. So let October be the discovery month. Right? Because now you know what the schedule looks like. You know what time the kids are going to get up. If you know that they're going to drive you crazy all day, get your butt out of that bed 30 minutes earlier, work out in the morning. And let me tell you something, get away from time. I don't care if you give me 10. Listen, Sean used to have an 8-minute workout. I will never forget this 8-minute workout, and I would be dead in 8 minutes, right? It's not the time. It's the consistency. Get up, get it done. I don't care if it's 8, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, hour, whatever you have to give that, okay? Set yourself up for success. If you know you can't get it done at night, if you know night is just not your thing, by then you are worn out between your job and your kids and you can't do it, let the mornings be it. But that's why you start now, setting yourself up for success, right? Get your body used to getting up now. So when January comes, you're in the zone. We're in the zone, okay? You can do this. I'm doing it with you. It is not any easier for me. Sure, everybody goes, it's muscle memory. You did it for how many years? I don't care. I am dying. Every single day, I'm huffing and puffing. I'm on low impact, right? But if I held on to the old me like most people love to do, right? They look at me and they're like, she used to do this and she used to do that. And it's like, if I held on to that, I would not be successful. I have to let that go. I'm no longer her. I'm no longer doing those things. I don't even think the way she used to look. I don't think the way she used to think. I think very differently. I move very differently. I feel very differently. As I get older and I mature more, things are different for me. So I let that go. Let it go. Let it go. And it's hard. I cried. Let me just be honest with you. Yes, I cried. It's hard. It's like, oh my God, But that's the moment I knew I needed to let it go. I wasn't allowing myself grace. I wasn't allowing myself to be human. I wasn't allowing myself to feel all the things that I was feeling. A lot has transitioned in my life, a lot of people who I love are no longer in my life, right? That's just the transition of how the universe works. It's reasons, seasons, lessons, blessings, right? So, going through all those transitions, I had to allow myself some grace. I have to allow myself some grace to say, listen, I have never lived alone. I've had my first child. I was pregnant at 16, had my first son at 17. I've never lived alone before. So, getting even acclimated to being more alone, all of that, I have to allow myself some grace. That's different for me. My kids were heavy in the sports. I was a cheer mom. I was the ultimate cheer mom now. I was a cheer mom. My son played baseball. My daughter played softball. Just all of that has changed. I don't have any of that anymore. So I have to allow myself some grace. And it was hard. I cry a lot. Even now, because it's like, it's almost that I had to back myself up and remind myself to live in the moment and not to get too far ahead in the future, because that's where the anxiety sets in, right? If you're too far in the past, you're depressed. If you're too far in the future, your anxiety is off the chain. So I have to pull myself back sometimes and say, don't worry about where it is you're going to move to. Don't worry about, the whole, dating and all that stuff. Like, don't worry about, as the universe gets ready for me to enter that, it's gonna be smooth, right? It's gonna happen. I have to remind myself of these things. I have to remind myself of giving myself grace. Yes, it's very different. Yes, it's hard. It's hard watching my daughter just go. She doesn't need me. She takes her car to the shop now. She's by herself. She doesn't need me for those things anymore. She doesn't need me to do her hair anymore. I know people are like, what? Yeah, but all of that stuff, it was ingrained with me. All I've known is really truly being a mom. Am I still gonna be a mom? Yes, but it's still very, very different as they get older. You know, so I had to allow myself some grace, and you have to do the same for yourself. Listen, I had to allow myself some grace to say, even from going from being married to divorced, and being a single parent, you have to allow yourself grace. You don't know what you know until you know it. Until you're well into it, right? So you don't know what that's going to do to you mentally. You don't know what that's going to do to you physically. I am an emotional eater. I don't like to say used to be, because used to be would be a lie. Okay? I know that sometimes, listen, I grew up in a family like that. When you're happy, you eat. When you're sad, you eat. And when you're mad, you eat. It's just like, you celebrate everything with food. Right? So, that's something that's been ingrained with me since I've been young. So, I'm like to say that, I'm getting better at it, but you just don't know how things are going to affect you. So you have to allow yourself some grace, but you also have to set yourself up for success. Okay? So let's set ourselves up for success. Let's make those appointments. Let's get those things down on paper. Let's develop a plan of action. Let's get our clothes out at night. Have everything set up. I don't care what time you're going to the gym. Listen, even with your children, if you know that they're home from school or whatever, make sure at night before they go to bed, everything is set up for success in the morning. We're not running around looking for pencils and pens and notebooks and papers and all other things, because everything is set up. Set yourself up for success. That's one less thing you have to yell about, because we're going to yell about something. Let's just be honest, right? But that's just one less thing, okay? So I hope that you enjoy our talk today. I hope that you have a beautiful week. I will talk to you next Sunday.